Hello everyone, Tina here for another 5 easy step card tutorial. I hope you're having a fabulous day. Thanks so much for joining me. We're going to make a floral card. We're just going to dive right in, jump in, and get started with step number 1 and create our focal point. I'm using the Spellbinders Cosmos Die Set. This is designed by Susan Tierney, and I love Cosmos flowers. They're just beautiful. My flowers are not going to look as beautiful as this. Okay, we're going to just go simple with some pastel colors, but the die set's pretty simple in itself. There are these little pieces that you can add to the flower centers. I'm not going to go that detailed for my card today. We're just going to use the flowers and the leaves and then this piece here. So I have some green cardstock. All the colors of cardstock we're using are from Spellbinders New Colorwheel collection. Been loving them. This is mint. I'm trying to remember all the names of the new colors, but this is mint. And I'm going to cut out both of the sets of leaves, probably maybe three times. As many times as I can get on this piece of paper. We'll create some leaves. I mean, we may not use them all, but I do like to tuck leaves. And then I have 3 different shades of pastel colored cardstock, and we'll be using these for our cosmos. Line these up here on each one of these and cut out 3 flowers. This is a pale purple, so pretty. It's called Fairy Tale. We have, this is called Chiffon, and this one is actually not Spellbinders. This one's actually Simon Says Stamps Lemon Chiffon. Spellbinders lightest yellow is kind of a darker yellow, so I went with a Simon cardstock here. And then I have Alabaster, which is an off-white that we're going to use for the flower centers. What I love about Susan's dies is because there's a number on here that says 2 times. And excuse my manicure. Oh goodness, I always do that. We come real close up so you can see the messy nails. So we're going to go far away so you can't see them. But this does have 2 times on here, so you need 2 of these per flower center. So I need 6 of these in total. We're going to make 3 flowers. And then this piece again has those little details that we're not going to use today, but you can if you want. Okay, I'm going to die cut everything out, and I'll be right back. I have everything die cut out, and now what we're doing is doing a little bit of what I like to call die cut dipping. And I have my distress oxide inks. Okay, I picked out these 3 colors to go with my flowers, and then I have the antique linen to go for my flower centers, and then I have pine needles to add just a little bit to our leaves here. Die cut dipping is very easy to do, so I'm going to start with my pine needles, and all I do is add some ink, okay, and I'm using my plastic mat here, and then I'm going to add some water, maybe a lot, and then all I do is, you need tweezers for this, so I'm going to take my tweezers, and all I'm going to do is dip, and then I'm going to let it dry kind of organically. Makes it so much fun. Maybe I'll add a little more of an intense color over here. You dip, and doesn't have to be perfect. That's all there is to it. Sometimes you have to dip and press, and that's all there is to my leaves. Okay, for this part, what I'm going to do is play a little music. I'm going to speed up the video, and I'm going to dip the rest of my elements doing the exact same thing. So I will see you in a little bit. And that is all there is to my die cut dipping. So much fun. It's best when you do this to let it air dry. So I'm going to do that. I do want to mention that I did take my antique linen and I went over each of my elements to kind of tone down the colors. And then I did bring in my spun sugar for my chiffon cardstock. It was a little bit too yellow and I wanted it to be more pink, more corally pinky color. So that will help with that one. And then I also brought in my Sheer Shimmer Spritz, which is really hard to say. Sheer Shimmer Sparkle Craft Spray. Love this stuff. Okay, and if you have perfect pearls, add that with some water. You could do the same thing. Just a little shimmer makes it really nice. So added that. I'm going to let these dry and then we're going to put them together. Okay, I did use a heat gun to help the drying process so we can move along, but we're going to go ahead and put these together. Now, I do want to add a little dark center in the center of each one of my flowers. So I'm bringing in some more Distress Oxiding. This is Hickory Smoke. I have my blending tool here, and I'm going to add just a little dark shading. I'm hoping this is dark enough in the center here. And I'm going to fade out. And I'm going to do that to all of them so they have a darker center. You could go black too, use a black ink. Black's a little harsh though, and I wanted some spring looking flowers. Okay, so that is that. We got some gray centers. I'll put this to the side, and now we're going to do some layering. So I'm going to bring in my glue, and I'm just going to, there's two different sizes, one's smaller, one's larger. I'm putting the larger one on the bottom, okay? So we're just going to add dots of glue to all the larger blooms. And then I will layer this one right over the top. If you have Susan Tierney's little kit that has a stylus, the scissors, the foam pad, you can use that and curl up the leaves. The petals, I mean, you could do that. It makes it more realistic. I'm going to skip doing that part, but I am going to bring in my stylus. This is actually one I picked up at the Dollar Store. I use this when I score my card bases because sometimes my bone folder loses its shape and I can get a better crease with this. And I'm also bringing in a piece of foam, Spellbinders foam. All I'm going to do is put my flower centers in here, and I'm going to do some circle motions. When you do this, it curls up. Let me show you. When you do this, it curls it up. It just makes it, it just cups it. I just love the way this looks. So grab some pop-up foam and just do a little circle motion in the center. You can even just do a little bit of pressing and it curls up. It cups up the flower centers. Of course, during shipping, this is going to flatten, but it sure does make a difference, I tell you. Now all I do is add glue to 3 of the centers, and then we can put the other layer right over that. Make sure I press down on the flower center. So those are the flower centers. Let me show you up close. So those are the flower centers. Okay, now all we do is, I'm actually going to fluff these petals up. Okay, so I put glue in the flower centers. Now I'm going to add my stamen. Look how gorgeous they are. So, so pretty. Now I put glue on the bottom of my flower stems. And I'm just going to tuck these in here. Okay, now I'm going to zoom in because I want to show you how pretty they are. Look how simple die cut dipping does, and look how pretty those flowers are. I mean, they're just gorgeous. Look at how dimensional they are. So pretty. Okay, I am going to do one more thing, and I'm bringing in my glazing glue. This is if you have glossy accents, you can use that. I need to refill my bottle. Okay, I'm going to add a pretty good sized dollop in the center, about pea size, so it's a good dollop. Okay, and then in our die set, if you wanted to put these in the center, you could, but I'm bypassing this and going a faster route. I have some seed beads. Okay, this one I actually mixed some white in there, and then I have some gold. Both of these are gold seed beads. And what I'm going to do is just pour. I'm thinking I'm going to go with the darker gold, but I'm just going to, where's my little spoon here? I'm going to add some to my spoon, and I'm going to just pour it. We're going to pick some seed beads out and just pour it in the center of our Cosmos flower. And that's going to be our little stamen. If you guys have never did this before, I promise you, get some gold seed beads. I'll list some down. I'm not sure where I got these, but I will list some gold seed beads down below in the description area, because when on these kind of flowers, it's so worth it. These are like little, beautiful little jewelry on a card. Anything that's not attached to my glaze and glue will fall off after it dries. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do. That's my focal point. Took a little bit of time, but let's zoom back out. And I have a mess that I'm going to clean up, and then we're going to move along to step number 2, is creating our home panel. Now for my home panel, I have a panel 5.5 inches tall by 3 1/4 inches wide. And what we're going to do is take a rectangle die. It could be a stitched rectangle die. Go through your rectangle dies. And we're going to create 3 windows in here. You see how this is thicker than this one? And that's good, because that's where we're going to put our sentiment. Before I call my home panel done, I'm going to also bring in a piece of acetate. Now, I already opened this package up. This is the Woodland Tails Printed Vellum and Foil Acetate. There's 6 sheets and 6 designs here, and they're 8.5 by 11. This is from Spellbinders, and let me show you. There's vellum and acetate. Such a nice pack, guys. You're going to love this. The vellum sheets have, let me bring in some white cardstock. Okay. We're going to be using this one. It just has some scripty letters on it. And then there's some beautiful, what are these called? I forget what these are called. Gosh, my mind went blank. But these are some beautiful leaves. Okay, and then you also have some birch trees. Love this. Okay, these are 8, and they're gold foiled. And then it also comes with 3 vellum sheets. You get some beautiful fall trees. This is actually made, this came out in fall last year, but you get some cute little mushrooms. And then look how beautiful these florals are. Just gorgeous. So these are vellum sheets. And the pack's great price point on here too. And the acetate is very thick. You could probably even make a card base out of this. Okay? Which gives me another idea. I had made a clear card base the other day. And maybe I'll make another one with that set. But it is called Woodland Tails Printed Vellum and Foil Sheets. What I'm going to do is trim down a piece to go behind this that I just created. But a very light layer, and we'll just adhere our vellum. And there we go. Now we're going to move along to step number 3, which is creating our greeting and our sentiment. And I'm going to bring in my stamp set that I created for Spellbinders. This is called Sending Sunshine Sentiments. And I think Spellbinders still has this in the shop, but it's a great stamp set. And my cards, I'm thinking of sending sunshine and smiles. And it will fit right here, or I miss you so much would be nice. Or you're in my thoughts. Maybe we'll stamp you're in my thoughts. Just making sure I center it. I'm going to use my Nocturne Versifying Clear ink from Simon. We'll stamp this. Lovely. And then that will be my home panel. I did put foam tape behind here, which is when you can really literally turn this into a shaker if you wanted to, but I'm not going to do that today. Normally, before we move on to step number 4, I'll go ahead and add my my focal point, but I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to give my seed beads a little bit more time to grab to that glazing glue. So we'll keep those drying. I'm going to put this to the side, and now we're going to work on step 4, which is our background. Background I usually add to my card base. For today, we are going to take away from the card base. I thought we'd do a fun kind of a fold on our card. So to do this, I'm going to bring in my Spellbinders trimmer. And what I'm going to do, open up my card base. I have a top folding card base. I'm going to take a 1/2 inch off of the left and a 1/2 inch off the right. Okay, so I'm going to place this in here, line it up at the 1/2 inch mark. Okay, which is here. I'm going to close it up. I actually have to, I work from the bottom, so I'm going to go up. I'm going to use my cutting blade. I'm going to go all the way up to my score mark. Let's go all the way up here. Okay, and then I'm going to release. So I have a cut line here. Now I'm going to flip it around to this side, and then I'm going to do the same thing. We'll go at the 1/2 inch mark. We'll just line it up, and then I will cut all the way up to that score mark. Okay. Sometimes different openings for cards just make things extra special. Now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut that 1/2 inch away. We'll just trim that away. Flip it around, trim it away. And then this is going to be my opening on my card base. Something a little different. Okay, I always keep these strips too because these make great sentiment strips. So now we have a fun opening on our card base. Just something a little bit different, but wait until you add the home panel, which is the same width. I'm actually going to open this up. It's the same width, and we popped it up with foam tape, remember? And again, this would make a great shaker if you wanted to. I'm not going to do that today, but I just love the way this looks. And that is our opening. That's our card. And that's my background. That's all we're doing to the background is removing 2 1/2 inch strips. Making it really easy today. I love how that looks like a window. Now we're going to take our, now we're going to take our focal points here. I'm going to tap away any extra seed beads. I love doing this to flower centers. They just look so pretty. Look how gorgeous those are. Aren't they so pretty? And this works with any color, spring, summer, winter, you name it. Now, to add my flowers, I am going to, and believe it or not, I did not use any foam tape on these flowers. That is a shockarooey. I am going heavy with the glue in the center, and we are going to layer our flowers here. I'm going to layer them so I don't obstruct my greeting. And that's our background that we didn't add anything to, but we did take stuff away. Now we're going to move along to step number 5, which means it's time to embellish. Since we have the gold centers for our Cosmos flowers, I'm bringing in some gold gems from Spellbinders. And we're just going to add a few of the small ones in our background. When you put the gems on the acetate, they look, since we popped up the acetate, they look like they're floating. So pretty. I just love this. Okay. You see how they kind of look like they're floating? Well, technically they are because we popped up our home panel. But that finishes off my 5 easy step card tutorial. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your week. I have lots more tutorials planned for you guys, so keep a lookout for that. Thanks for loving the 5 easy step card tutorials, and I love hearing all of your comments. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. I have 2 more videos that you guys might be interested here. If you guys are new and like the content that you see, click that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way for future videos, be notified all Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It sure does help the channel. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Bye.